Hi friends, just a brief note before we get started. Unfortunately, we had a bad case of technical gremlins come through recently. It looks like the kobolds got a hold of our main hard drive, and well, let's just say that it's very, very dead. Fortunately, we do still have our backup files, but you may notice a minor drop in audio quality for the next few episodes. We have sent out a request for a resurrection spell, but we'll see how it goes. Thanks so much for sticking through this with us, and we hope to get things resolved as soon as possible. Now, enjoy the episode.
Welcome back to Power Word Crit, everybody. My name is Corrin, and with me today are four outstanding players. They are...
I'm Kayla, and I'm playing Celestine Peacechild.
I'm Ander, and I'm playing Lilac, the Lizard Folk Druid.
I'm Ashlyn, and I'm playing Izzy.
I'm David, and I am playing Lord Usaka von Pride.
Hey, guess what, guys? You leveled up last game.
Yes.
Dun 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 dun.
So let's take a moment and just go around the table one more time and let our listeners know what you decided to do, because level 4 is an ability score improvement. So, Celestine, what happened with you?
So for mine, instead of an ability score improvement, I took a feat, and I took Great Weapon Master.
Sweet. What is that?
So it does two things. On your turn, when you score a critical hit with a melee weapon or reduce a creature to 0 hit points, you can make one melee attack as a bonus action. So it gives me the option of possibly having another attack. And then the other one, part of it is I think I can invoke a -5 to my accuracy, but a +10 to my damage. Yep. Otherwise, my 4th level just updated. I think I got one more spell and one more cantrip. And that was it.
Celestine is going to be very vicious on the battlefield.
She's a war cleric. She's always been vicious on the battlefield. This is just more vicious.
Ander, what did Lilac get?
So Lilac, he's had a lot of experience in growing and gaining wisdom. And so in lieu of getting a feat, I chose to double down on ability scores and bumped him up to 18 to get that +4 bonus. So for my spell attacks and saves and jazz like that. And I swapped out my cantrip. I wasn't a fan of Acid Splash, and I chose Produce Flame instead, because I felt like that might be a little bit more useful, because I really want to not be up close. Is kind of how I want to do things more.
You want to be more of a ranged druid?
So he's focusing on spell casting, so that's
probably a good idea.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Sweet. Ashlyn, what did Izzy get?
So Izzy took the feat Dual Wielder. That gives her a +1 bonus to AC when she is holding a separate melee weapon in each hand. Also can use 2-weapon fighting even when the one-handed melee weapons that are being wielded aren't light. And then my favorite, you can draw or stow 2 one-handed weapons when you would normally be able to only draw or stow 1.
Oh, that's
nice. Quick draw.
Yeah. I know you were really frustrated with that.
Yes, every time. So that was a no-brainer for me.
Nice. Usarker.
Lord Usarker has been attending to his exercises and his physical regime, and so increased his dexterity and his constitution. His dexterity is 14, and his constitution is 16.
Cool.
Nice.
That's definitely going to help down the line. Spoiler, not spoiler.
Saving throws.
Totally.
Saving throws.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, that stuff. So, back to the game. Last time on Power Word Crit, Mina Keffler and her crew of Warlock Bakers interrogated the group. They were kind of confused about your guys' allegiances. After sufficiently convincing her of your relationship with the Cult of the Dragon, Mina released you, offering monetary compensation to you if you returned her grandson to her, who she believes had been taken by the cult in the raid at Green Nest. She also offered more money on top of that if they could retrieve the artifact her grandson had been carrying with him. but warned them not to open the box. Remember, it wasn't a threat, it was a warning. You guys agreed, and once you got the info from Mina that she also gave to you guys about what she learned about the cult, you guys handed it over to the High Magistrate. But you also decided to reveal Mina's involvement in some illegal activities.
Like murder.
Yeah, I'm sure there's no consequences for that.
I mean, she did, like, imprison us and, interrogated us.
I'm just saying,
Nope,
commentating.
Mina's not all right in
We're
his
just
book.
saying that we might be okay with those consequences.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean, that's okay. The group went back to the inn afterwards. Lilac took up the offer to stay inside the inn instead of in the alleyway, and also, before sleep, went out to commune with the spirits. Izzy made jewelry. Celestine had a heart-to-heart with her son about death and religion, and Usarker had a disturbing dream about a lake of blood with a skull in it.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that dream.
Indigestion, bit of bad beef and all that.
I don't think
pulling a
Celestine's ever
Scrooge here.
experienced that sort of disturbance.
So you guys wake up in the morning feeling refreshed and feeling a little bit more powerful in your own special ways.
Oh, great and mighty DM, I do have one question about this dream. I am quite experienced in dreams, my Aunt Esmeralda having an obsession with them. Did this seem more like a traditional dream, or did it have an odd peculiarity to it? I imagine that the dream quests of my aunt were somewhat different than the dreams I experience just on a night-to-night basis.
Looking at your passive insight, yeah, this was not just one of those weird dreams. This one felt it had some sort of meaning, or it had some basis in reality.
For the viewers, my passive insight is quite good at +4.
Yeah, this does not feel like a weird dream. This feels a little bit more like what Esmeralda was doing.
Mm-hmm. Excellent.
So, guys wake up. What do you do?
So we got books about dragons, and I believe the High Magistrate was going to look into something.
That's right, there are 50 books on dragons which nobody has poured through and which they would like us to pour through, right?
I mean,
You guys
we
requested
asked
the books?
for it, to be perfectly honest.
Usarker requested the
That
books.
is also true.
Yeah, you guys
I'm
requested
going
the
to
books
go
and they got them for you.
I'm going to go to the magistrate's town hall after breakfast, which I take early in the morning, and I am going to ensconce myself among the books and just read them all day long. I will have Sanjay deliver meals.
Lord Pride, do you want help with that?
Did you wake up early with me?
Sure.
Oh, no. Unless you're good at reading, fast, analytical, and able to take solid notes, I'll be fine otherwise.
I want to go look up some more about the dragons that my
Okay.
order ran into, actually. See if there's anything in the books on those.
Okay.
So, Celestine's not asking you, she's going with you.
Okay, that's
She's
fine.
just going.
She's just going.
Okay.
I won't tell anybody no.
So, Lilac, what are you doing?
I'm going to follow along. I'm not familiar with the books, but can offer insight and experience. Having had first-hand experience with the dragon that
Lilac?
slayed my village and the wyverns who gave me this scar.
Lilac, if you would prefer, reading is usually a long and tedious process, very boring. If there's anything else you'd like to do in town, I'm sure that we will share our findings in the evening.
You can come with me. I'm going to just go talk to some of Master Prazio's contacts here in the city.
Yes, I will do that. We need to get supplies, maybe?
Yep.
Yeah, we can get some supplies too.
As Usarker and Celestine walk into the city hall, you see the familiar floating chair of the High Magistrate. And they brighten and they say, "Oh, hello, you two. Nice to meet you. Are your companions joining you?"
No. Okay. And, as Kayla and David have a stare off at who gets to finish that sentence. So we turn to the High Magistrate and explain that no, they have some business to take care of in town.
Okay.
And that you're only here to look at
And
books.
we were planning on looking at the books.
Oh, right. Before you do that, let's get the payment out of the way.
Oh, yes.
And come back later tonight with your companions for some more information that we are learning from Sir Collard and some other
And the other
minor intel that we've gotten. But we need to confirm first, so I don't want to say anything yet until it's confirmed. But we can definitely get you your payment.
Okay. Is Sir Terracus?
Lord Terracus.
Lord
Lord
Terracus?
Terracus?
Yeah. How is he doing?
He,
I know it's only been like 12 hours, but
he was touch and go last night, but it looks like he's stabilized. We don't want any visitors yet, but his condition can improve at any time.
oh, good. Okay. So hopefully we can get some answers from him at some point as well. Cool.
So the High Magistrate goes into their office, writes something on a piece of paper, hands it to you guys and says, "Please take this to the treasurer. They will give you your payment, and I will see you later tonight." And they look down at their calendar, makes a face.
So many meetings.
So many meetings. How about 6?
Oh, the poor person. Yes, that works.
Very well. We will see if we can make it at that time.
Perfect. Here you go. And hands over that little piece of paper. You guys quickly find the treasurer. They're just down the hall. And they hand you 1,200 gold pieces. Nice.
Woo!
For your
So,
services.
Cash
300.
money.
300 each. Nice.
Mm-hmm. What are you guys doing in your makeshift library? What are you looking for? What you doing? You got 50 books to go through. Some are in common, some are not.
Celestine is looking specifically. Oh, what languages do I speak? You said some of them are in common and some are not.
Correct.
Let me see how many I can actually look at. I know Dwarvish and Elvish as well as common, so I can at least hit probably some of them. I am planning on focusing specifically on the Dragon Wars that my higher up in the order was telling us about.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And what about you, Usurker?
I speak the languages of Common, Dwarvish, and the Infernal language. And I think my first step would be to sort the books into an order that is logical and makes sense, and then to start perusing them to understand their contents, and then after having that to narrow it down more to specific questions.
Okay. So that takes you about an hour to do the initial sorting, trying to figure out where things should go. And you do know that between the languages of you two, there are only 4 books that you cannot read.
What
Do
are they
we-
in?
Usurker or Celestine, whichever one, do an intelligence check.
I'm gonna let Usarker handle that one.
All right, that is it's not, for example, calligraphy, right?
No.
All right.
No, that lets you actually read. No kidding.
I mean, calligraphy is the art of writing letters. So, you might be
Mhm.
more familiar with letters and
It
different
helps
languages.
you read cursive.
All right, regardless. So that is a 22.
Oh no. You
Oh.
don't know what any of these are.
See,
22.
if only I'd gotten my calligraphy bonus.
Yeah, DC's 23. I'm so sorry.
Mm-hmm.
No, so you recognize 2 of them are in Draconic. One of them is in Gnomish. And the other one, for some reason, looks to be in Abyssal.
I am going to summon Sanjay.
How may I help you?
Sanjay, there are a few books here which we cannot read because of the limitations of our group knowledge. Are there any scholars who understand the Draconic language, the Gnomish language, and the Abyssal language?
I do know someone on hand. Would you like me to fetch them?
Yes, please. Thank you.
I will do this.
Yeah, if we can at least figure out what the books are about, then we can figure out how important they are to be looked at.
Mm-hmm.
As a side note, Lilac can speak Draconic.
So after after searching through everything and asking Sanjay to fetch someone for you, Celestine, go ahead and do an investigation check, an initial investigation check, just to basically know where to start.
That is a 13 on my brand new spiffy dice.
Ooh, fancy, fancy.
I'm fine with just having this straight one.
The DC is not very high because she's looking for the previous information about the previous war, so the DC is not too high. You do find some... You do find one that looks to be handwritten. So this could have been some sort of war journal of the events. This one is in Dwarvish. But the rest of them look to be just very simple. This is basically what happened.
Okay.
And it's very easy to find in the history section that Usarker has created. Usarker, what are you looking for?
All right, now that we've sorted and organized it, I will start with information on the Cult of the Dragon.
Okay. What specifically you're looking for? Just...
I don't know anything about the Cult of the Dragon yet, so I'll start with general.
Okay. Please do an investigation check.
And I spend my combat superiority dice as I combat these books.
Sure.
That is unfortunately rather low for an investigation check, coming in only at 16.
So, looking for specific instances of the Cult of the Dragon, you're going to find a lot of instances of the cult in the history books. Again, Celestine found a war journal that seems to have been detailing this, and you said you speak Dwarvish?
I do.
You can read this one as well. However, there's so many books that today you guys will probably be able to get through about half the history section to find this information.
That's fine. Usarker is a very fast reader, a very thorough reader as well, though, and he understands that you don't rush comprehension and understanding.
Right. So, all right. Izzy and Lilac, where are you going? What you doing?
So I am going to visit a few of Master Prazio's suppliers here in Burdusk.
Okay.
Just kind of do a check on them kind of thing, see how things are going, if they have any concerns, and kind of check on their quality of their supplies and stuff.
Okay, so quick question for you.
Yes.
Has Izzy, before heading to Greenness, has Izzy been to Burdusk before?
I would say she's probably done a couple of errands for Master Prazio to make sure, like, if there were quality issues, he would send her to work out those issues with the suppliers and stuff like that. So yeah, I would say she's been to some of those places before. She's just not familiar with the city in general, like as a whole.
So yeah, navigating the streets. You've not been inside the inner wall before this time, so trying to navigate yourself from the inner wall gives you a little bit of trouble. But easy enough once you find a path. I won't even make you roll for it. Once you find a familiar street, you're like, oh yeah, I know exactly where we're going. And you come up to one of the suppliers. This supplier is a supplier of silver.
Okay.
Silver and platinum. And you see a woman banging two gloves together. And you see little particles coming out of the gloves. And she looks up, she goes, Lizzie, I didn't know you were coming.
Hi, Madam Silversmith. Yes, this is kind of impromptu. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful, wonderful. How are the Prazios?
Last I saw them, they were healthy. But they are experiencing some difficulties, personal issues at the moment. But
oh no. Did their shipment get there?
Yes, it did get there. There was no issues with that. Fabulous work as always.
Thank you.
Yes. No, it's their son. Do you remember Jaden?
Of course I remember Jaden. I remember when he was a wee lad.
Yeah, apparently he's gone missing, but I'm kind of investigating that at this time, and that's kind of why I'm in town, but decided to check in on you and see if you had any questions for the next shipment, if you received our order for that, but yeah, like Izzy's face is definitely just She's
Heartbroken.
looking a little
Maybe
distracted because she didn't mean to spill this information about Jaden.
Oh dear. Come on in. Come in. And who's your friend?
The day greets you. This one is Lilac.
The day greets you as well, Lilith. Come on in. And she ushers you two in, shuts the door, and turns the sign over to say closed. And she says, come on in the back. I'll make you some tea.
Thank you.
Tea. This is good.
Mr. Lilac, do you have a specific tea that you enjoy?
The one that is provided. I do have a special brew here that I have with me. If you would like to partake.
Yes, let's try that. I'll boil some water.
Izzy's looking
I know,
skeptically. She's like, is
Awfully-
it made of rats?
awfully adventurous.
No, there is more to life than rats.
Okay.
There is
Izzy
more to
has-
life than rats, you see.
I don't
These are
know.
herbs
I've
from
only
my
ever
homeland.
seen you eating rats, so...
This is what's here. There are not special herbs here.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So she quickly puts the pot on. It boils. She asks
Here
for
is the song leaf.
song leaf. I've never
Mhm.
heard of this. So she pours it in. And describe what the tea smells like. What's going on with this tea?
It is obviously aromatic, but it is not magical in and of itself. Like, it doesn't have any magical properties that grants you bonuses and things like that. But it has a tendency to bring to mind a memory of a favorite song that you have.
Oh no, you're gonna have a
Interesting.
song stuck in your head now.
Oh, I mean,
no.
that's just Ashlyn in real life.
A tea to induce that? Not much change for Ashlyn, apparently.
Izzy, maybe. We'll see.
So she hands out the tea and she takes a slip.
Take the slip. It drops.
Oh,
She
no.
takes a slip, drops the tea all over herself, 3rd-degree burns. It's a terrible mess.
Oh, no.
She takes a sip of her tea and she goes, "Oh my, this is wonderful.
My
Do you
people
have any more?"
I do have some. Not much. I was only able to take some. But
Maybe you should consider building up some trade between your tribe and Burdusk here, Lilac.
Burdusk is constantly looking for new flavors. This is something that, oh my heavens, I would buy 100 of these.
Do you want me to be your contact? I can help you set up this
this
trade.
could be arranged.
Please, if you are welcome to come here anytime with any of your tea. I will happily trade with you for this.
This one will have to talk with local tribes to deal to trade. Think something can be arranged.
Please do. I would love to do that with your tribe and with your tea. Oh, mwah. She takes another sip.
Izzy's sipping the tea and she agrees that it's very delicious.
Now here's the question. What song comes to your mind?
So the song that first comes to Izzy's mind is a traditional folk song that she loved to listen to whenever there were street performers on holidays in El Turel, because usually it was a grand affair even before she was taken in by the Prazios to begin her apprenticeship. Like, they would let the orphans out to enjoy the festivities, and there was this one song that was always it made Izzy kind of feel uplifted and kind of forget her worries and just made her feel lighter than air. And that's how she actually first discovered that she could levitate.
Oh, that's cool.
Wonderful. Now, Izzy, what's going on? How can I help? Please tell me everything.
How much have you heard about events outside of Burdusk?
I heard that a town or two had been attacked. Oh, no. Was Jaden part of was he in one of those attacks?
I don't know 100% for sure, but I have very strong reason to believe so.
Oh my goodness.
I was actually in one of those towns when they were attacked.
Oh my dear, are you all right?
Oh, I'm fine. But the Prazios did lose one of their nephews. I don't remember if you ever met Kurt. That was Jaden's cousin, but We lost him in that raid.
I'm so sorry. I don't think I had the pleasure of meeting Kurt, but
He was a bear of a man. I kind of don't know what to do, because I don't know where Jaden is. I don't know how to find him. I feel like I'm in a dead end. I asked some people to search for him. I keep trying to follow clues, but I feel like every time I'm getting to dead ends, and I'm really worried. What if something bad has happened to him and he never comes home? I don't know what I would do.
she immediately pulls you into a hug.
He's my best friend. I can't lose him.
I will do everything within my power to help you find him. When was the last time you saw him?
I saw him about a month ago. He was on business near Greenest, and I think he was taken by the same people who attacked these towns.
Oh my goodness.
This cult of the dragon.
Do you have any information on that? Maybe? Possibly? I'm not there.
You can do an insight check on her.
I'll do an inside check. Sure, why not? Mer.
How does she respond when you say Cult of the Dragon?
She turns into a
And
dragon.
check her hand. Check her hand.
Maybe that's why she's such a good silversmith.
I mean, she is wearing gloves, so I wouldn't have seen her hands.
Well, she was shaking out gloves. She doesn't have gloves on.
Oh,
So we're
okay.
close.
Insight 6.
She's hiding something.
She has. She looks very concerned for you. Very concerned.
Aw. Yep.
I would like to make a insight check.
Sure.
Just curious. To contribute here.
Sure.
Is she really genuine, or is she more like,
Yeah.
get this crazy genasi out of my shop?
As an outsider here, I rolled a 17 plus 4 for a 21.
She doesn't react to the cult of the dragon.
Okay.
She really just looks concerned for both of you and has been genuinely upset along with you guys.
I think Loic is going to be generally suspicious of most people after our interaction and surprise by the
Nina.
bakers. No.
Yeah, you also look down at her hands. There's nothing on her hands
yeah,
either.
that would have been something that he would have been looking
There's
for.
a birthmark on her hands.
Yeah.
It's a little dot, but that's about it.
Okay.
Well, I will happily help you look. Hold on. Let me go check my notes. And she goes and grabs a book and flips through it, and she goes, "Yeah, we saw Jaden about. You said was missing for a month.
Yes.
Well, he came by to inspect one of the shipments about 3 weeks ago.
Hmm.
3 weeks?
Mhm.
Well, that would make sense, because it would have taken almost a week to get here from El Terrell. So,
he was fine and healthy, and he did seem a little nervous, but
That's
beyond that,
strange for
I just
him.
thought it was because of shipment. He said this was one of his first times doing a full shipment by himself.
that part's true. His father felt like it was time for him to get a more hands-on experience on that, and this was his first foray. And the fact that it ended up in his abduction is quite alarming.
Right. Oh, he did ask how much it would cost to stay in the inner wall near some of the lords. I thought that was strange,
Really?
because whenever he usually comes, he usually stays at the
The local inns here.
the local inns here. Maybe he just wanted some extra pampering or something. But I will definitely contact everybody I know, see if they've met him, and see if they know who he is. We'll make posters, and she starts writing all this stuff down. If this was the last place he was seen, someone has to know. And she starts gearing up to help you.
Hmm.
So,
The hunt begins.
Yes,
Ernest.
Lois, the hunt begins.
Thank you, ma'am.
Do you have a picture of him?
And no, I don't, actually.
Okay, I can get a sketch artist. It's fine. All right, I will definitely do this for you. We'll put up posters all over the city. We'll get this done. Is there anything else I can do for you, my dear?
This is more than enough. Honestly, I didn't come here with this expectation. So if this will not put you out of your way, then I just truly thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I know that Master Prazio would say the same.
She gives you another big hug. And she says, I truly hope we can help you find Jaden. We will search high and low for him.
Hopefully not too high and not too low.
Here, take this with you. And she packs up a few different types of teas and puts them in a little bag. And she says, these are not nearly as good as what your friend brought, but I hope that this will bring you some comfort as the days go on and we search for him.
Thank you.
So, big random question. Is she involved at all with the shipping of the Prazio stuff?
So, she makes the materials.
Okay, so she wouldn't...
Probably like the sets for the actual gemstones and stuff.
Yeah,
Okay.
so she's a supplier of silver and platinum.
Got it.
And so she's...
I mean, they
she's
may have
basically-
like a runner who may do some deliveries, but probably more often than not, they hire like a third party to actually ship them.
Okay.
Kind of, I figure that's how most supplies go from city to city, is that they just have like giant merchants, like
Mhm.
caravans to actually transfer goods from one city to the next. So I figured that's what actually happens between Burdusk and El Terrell.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess I would be curious because I hadn't, just with all the discussion recently about shipping and shipping routes and how are you getting things around the city and secretly around the city.
Unnoticed, you mean, by the cult?
Yep. Makes me suspicious that all of a sudden Jaden's gone and he was part of this shipping. Just an interesting coincidence that he's gone at the same time that the cult was looking for a missing shipment that was intercepted and stolen from. I'm not saying it has anything to do with him, but the fact that shipping is in both situations is interesting.
And you do know that the shipment was stolen somewhere between Burdusk and Baldur's Gate. So
I mean, that
Yeah.
wasn't the direction that Jaden was going in, but that doesn't necessarily rule out the fact that he might have changed directions because he found something.
Right, or he had the shipment in his... Maybe for some reason it was in his stuff.
A mistaken case of
Mhm.
switched luggage.
Yep, yep.
Or an intentional case of
Or-
switched luggage.
Mm-hmm.
What are you implying?
Nothing. Nothing at all. I mean,
Are you making out Jaden to be the BBEG?
I'm certain that we're still on the route that Jaden is being coerced by illiterate kobolds into, writing their notes
That's
for
still
him.
my favorite theory. Okay,
Yeah.
so just something to think about. Just as we're trying to figure out more about these, how were people moving things around and where may shipments. I'd be interested to see where Jaden was last seen. It sounds like he was in the city. Did he make it to any other city after this? That'd be an interesting question I'd have.
Did we already ask which inn he was asking about?
It was an inn in the inner city,
Yeah.
Did she know which
but
one?
I don't know if she mentioned specific inns. I think he was just asking about them, but he didn't name one specifically.
You could ask.
I'm gonna ask. When you talked to Jaden, did he ask about specific inn?
He asked for an inn, but the only one I know is the Effervescent Flute. But there are, from what I understand, there's quite a few in there, but the most well-known one is the Effervescent Flute.
This
Where
is
we
interesting. This is where we have been staying.
It is a nice establishment.
We should go back there and ask about Jaden.
Yeah, that sounds like a great idea.
As the guy who made a number of these inns, there are a few
Out of character.
out of
Mhm.
character.
It is not that hard to go
Lord
between
Fried
them, though.
is an architect.
Pretty sure that's not one of my skills, but I mean, it would make sense.
Yeah.
All the back
+1
doors.
to map building and architecture
Cool.
for David.
I have cartography, smithing, calligraphy.
Nice.
Easy. I think that this is a good way to begin our hunt in earnest. To talk to people at these inns and see if they have seen a man of his description.
Yeah, you're right. Let's go back.
Hey friends, this is Ander, and I wanted to give a special thank you to our friends out on Facebook. So thank you to Ashley, Stephen, Jonathan, Sarah, Karen, Carol, Sarah, King, Matthew, and Annie. If you want to get a shout out in a future episode, you can follow us on Twitter or Facebook, tweet about the show using the hashtag PowerWordCrit, share a post from our Facebook page and include the hashtag PowerWordCrit, or if you don't do any of that social media stuff, tell us how you shared this podcast with a friend by sending an email to powerwordcrit@gmail.com. Thanks. Now back to the show.
Moving back to our nerds in the library.
Is Celestine a nerd?
She is today.
I have a +2, I will have you know.
Had nothing to do with
I'm
your
a religious
ability.
nerd.
Oh. Okay.
There are
Whatever
different
you
nerds.
want. Whatever you want.
I think that
The crunchy, sweet, multicolored ones.
Yeah. Ooh, now I want nerds. Anyway,
Yeah.
you guys are going through and you discover through your whole investigation, so up to the time that you guys will have the meeting. I'm not sure when you guys are going to stop and try to look for your companions, so this is what you guys gather. About the cult, it was founded by a mage named Samaster, Sammaster, so Sam Master. He was a human mage and was called the former chosen of Mystra. Whatever that means. It doesn't really go into that, but he had the title of chosen of Mystra.
interesting.
Isn't that Usarker's favorite goddess?
Right. and I'm pretty sure that out of character I have an inkling what that means, but I'll leave it there. Okay.
So he founded the cult, and he was known to work at some points with other archmages and liches while he was creating the cult. The cult truly believed that Draco liches were the most beautiful creation of dragons. It was like their final form, and these forms would rule the Sword Coast and the areas.
To be
Around
fair,
it.
it's the final form they're ever going to have. They're not going very far beyond that.
It's true. And so their members, during his reign in the cult, they focus purely on creation and worship on these Draco liches. And this was all based on a prophecy translated by Samaster. He had also been rumored to work with the Red Wizards that hail from Thay. However, nothing has been proven, but there is some speculation that maybe that's how they learned about making Draco liches. Most of the cult had really been focused on the eastern side of the Sword Coast. So like the Sword Coast, if you're looking at the map, the Sword Coast is all the way to the west. It was based more towards the east and was starting to move into the Sword Coast area before Samaster died. So your superior, Celestine, was in the trenches on the eastern side of the Sword Coast while these battles were happening. So the cult itself had integrated itself into the Sword Coast. However, these Draco liches never really made it to the bulk of the Sword Coast. However, it did destroy a ton of tiny towns on that eastern side. And Samaster ended up passing away before all this happened. And there was a rumor that after his death, somebody else took a hold of it, but they never got a name. The cult kind of fizzled out. These Draco liches stopped being created, and so everyone just assumed that it was gone. And so that's what you guys find with the history.
Okay. And this was several hundred years ago? Well, a few hundred. Trying to think. My superior was a dwarf?
A dwarf. However, this whole battle ended about 50 years ago.
Oh,
Like the
50.
final stand before these Draco liches and the cult could actually cause massive amounts of devastation. They were stopped about 50 years ago.
Okay, got it.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. So that's good to know. Not
Is
sure.
there enough information to continue studying on the cult and learn about their more modern activities, since that's quite old?
You can attempt to look in the other sections tomorrow. This is basically what you've gathered through all the looking through everything. And this is kind of the summary of what you found. You could attempt to, however, these history books said that they ended up fizzling out. So there may be more, but you would have to check another section tomorrow.
We may have better luck talking with Lord Terracus and asking him about the cult's history.
Possibly. Yes, possibly.
Do we hear anything back about at least the subjects for the other 3 or 4 books that were in different languages?
Yes, Sanjay returns about 4 hours into your research and he says, I have contacted the translator. He will be here probably tomorrow afternoon. He is a very busy man, but he will try to get here tomorrow afternoon, if not the morning after that.
Okay, sounds good.
Very well.
I think that's all we can do for today.
Is it the evening?
Yeah.
Excellent. Let us retire to the effervescent flute.
So it's about 4 p.m.
Oh,
when
good.
when your eyes feel like they're about to bulge out of your, like leak out of your eyes from all the reading that you've done.
So dinner, a quick walk, regroup, and come back at 6 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So Usarker and Celestine, you walk into Izzy and Lilac chatting up the lady at the front desk. Her name is Annabelle. And she seems to be looking through some ledgers. And she goes, I'm so sorry that took so long.
That's okay. You have a lot of records. A lot of people have been staying here recently.
It was almost like it took hours.
Hours. Been standing
there
in
was that-
courtyard for a long time.
There was that incident where, like, you actually had grabbed the wrong book at first, and it was from 3 years ago instead of 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, I am so sorry. One
Lot
day
of
we'll
papers.
get this.
And then you spilled the tea. I'm so sorry about that.
Yeah, it's not okay. We just lost a whole year's of records, but you know, you're a guest. It's fine. So
Oh, no.
I will make it up to you, I promise.
you should.
I unclip a necklace that has an emerald on it.
That's a start.
It was 3 years ago. I think you're fine.
We're supposed to keep tax records for 7 years.
They didn't say it had to be legible.
Here's a question. Could I try and use shape water to pull the water out of the book? Like,
Ooh.
Sure.
I'm going to attempt it.
Okay.
I
Do
mean,
you have to roll anything, or does it just happen?
With shape water, no, but you can have me roll.
I'm going to have you roll a dexterity check for this because the books are wet, which means the ink is also now wet. So you may end up pulling the ink out as well. The liquid in the ink, at least.
I don't know that it would be dexterity, 'cause, like, he doesn't use dexterity to, like, do his
Wisdom?
spells. But yeah,
You wanna do
I'd say
wisdom?
you do it, make it a spell thing.
Okay, let's
Yeah,
make it a
what's-
spell thing. Let's do some wisdom.
Okay. Hey, that's a 17 plus 4,
Ooh.
so a 21.
Wow.
And how he does this is he pulls out a necklace that has several bones on it. And bone necklaces, these are his thing. And this is a cantrip. This is something he can do very easily. I think that maybe he has a small non-precious gem, semi-precious stone or something like that he uses, and just like rubs that with his claw a little bit in a circle and a circle and circle and circle, and then the water in the book follows that same circular pattern around the page, and then just flows up out of the top of it.
Okay, so Izzy, as you're passing over the emerald, Lilac is over there circling a gem in his palm, and you see a bubble of water come out.
And I put it back in the cup.
And she looks and she goes, "No payment necessary. You can take your jewelry back."
Okay.
That is nifty.
Mm-hmm. Lilac, there's like one entry in the very, very back that's like missing a checkout date or like a checkout time. So like,
I'm going to say that Lilith can read. I've been thinking about this, and I was like, okay, yes, he can read.
Okay.
He spent some time with that very kind couple there.
yeah, you learned it in a week.
So, yeah.
So yeah, you're flipping through to make sure everything's there, and you're like, oh, there's a checkout date that's missing. Oh well,
Hold that up.
they won't notice. So yeah, you did very well.
technically-
You just had one little mishap.
Technically, we don't know it wasn't.
Maybe they never
Maybe
checked out.
Maybe they never recorded it.
They died.
They died.
Oh,
This was
boy.
not mistake.
There's a
This
column that
was
says
exactness.
TOD, time of death, because inns are notorious for having people die in them.
Yeah.
That's really unfortunate.
So she
Man,
says,
that brawl was over an hour ago. When did he die? Yeah.
roughly this
We'll say
time.
now.
So yeah, she goes, no payment necessary, thank you. Okay, so it looks like there was a Javen who checked in.
Close enough.
Last name?
Probio.
It looks like it says Belisario. Javen Belisario.
Did she remember what he looked like by chance?
That
Do you
was,
remember?
I know.
a while ago.
I mean, I know you get a lot of people who stay here, but do you happen to remember anything about him that stood out? It was a him, right? I'm assuming.
Did he
that's
pay in
not
large,
a woman.
oversized jewels?
Did he have anything with him that seemed out of place?
Let's see. This was the night.
Asking about Lord Terracus and Lord Faradin, perhaps.
Oh no.
Oh, you know, this...
Maybe.
Yeah, he had dark hair. Kind of had like wiry glasses on.
Yeah, that's Jaden.
Kind of looked like a nerd. Oh, I'm sorry, that's rude. He kind of looked like a very
An intellectual
person.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's Jaden.
And I don't know why I remember this, but he was asking about trade routes. And if any of the trade routes came into the inner wall. I thought that was kind of strange.
That is a very strange question.
Do the trade routes go into the inner wall?
Of course not.
Okay.
He also asked for if there's like a tour of the inner wall and like maybe some of the mansions around, but
Did he ask about anyone in particular? Or is it just the
No.
trade routes?
just the trade routes. He was only here for a night. He was here late and asked about the trade routes, which is kind of weird, then checked out really early.
Did he say anything about where he was going?
If he did, I wouldn't have remembered that. So many people tell me so many things.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
glad that you remembered as much as you did right now.
Me too. I rolled a 15 on that one.
And
Oh.
for your services, I'm still going to hand you this emerald necklace.
I will not refuse. Thank you so much for your patronage.
It's worth at least 10 gold.
Please come again and don't touch my books. So you guys walk into this happening.
Don't touch the books.
Don't touch the books.
Okay, so that's interesting because I'm remembering, was it Lord Faradin who had the mansion with the teleportation circle?
Yes.
Yep.
Could that be part of an illicit trade route?
Maybe.
Explicitly so, he was into the smuggling business and was friends with the deceased Lord Ergosa.
I really want to talk to Terracus and see if he knows anything about that.
I don't think Terracus knows anything.
Probably not, but
I
it'd
feel
be
like-
interesting.
Sir Colart knows more than Lord Terracus. And that's
We can ask
why
him too.
Sir Colart was being interrogated by Mina and her gang of baking warlocks.
I believe that what we've seen is that Terracus was out of the cult while what's-his-bucket,
Colart was
was
still
still involved.
True. That might be a good question to ask him, though, if there was a trade route that went into Faradin Manor. Or out of Faradin Manor.
I suspect that the answer would be that Faradin didn't conduct business in his home unless it was absolutely necessary, wanting to put a distance between it.
It's a pretty big circle.
Mm.
Actually, I don't remember how big it is. Anyway. Okay. Well...
Celestine, Usarkar, how goes your hunt?
Oh,
Did
we
you
have
find
been
anything out?
paid. We have been paid. Happy days.
We were getting paid for something?
I don't know.
Yes. Yes, we were.
Oh,
Celestine is a priest. We don't say no to money.
unless we feel like it belongs to
Unless
a
it's illegal.
sanctuary.
Unless it's illegal. If it's legal, then that's a different problem.
Or if there are people in need, like a
Or that.
sanctuary.
Well, yes. That just means, though, that the money goes that way. But
Right.
it went... I am not going to
We
argue.
were-
if
we
it
were
comes
just
through
the
my
middlemen.
hands. Exactly.
Well,
Okay.
the city did tell you that they were going to pay you to find out information.
Right.
Yes, but we haven't been paid for that yet.
That was
That's
We
what
are
I was
now.
about.
The 50? Oh,
Just our
sorry.
300.
I was still thinking greenest. Right. Okay.
That is true. We still have to go back to Greenest at some point. But I
Do
hand
we
out the
though?
gold. 300
Really
gold
don't.
each.
Actually, I do have a reason to go back to greenest, but
We might count this up in our rooms just to, privacy, because 300 gold out in the middle of the table.
yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
That is a big sack.
Yeah, it's true. The thunk.
Right. Well, it's pounds.
Everyone turns their heads.
Nope,
Pounds
goes
of
upstairs.
I do not know much about the gold, the coins, but surely there are
Surprised they didn't just give us some platinum.
bigger kinds that are smaller. You understand?
Yes, I believe I do. However, the larger kinds would be less useful to our efforts, since we intend on spending them swiftly in order to outfit and prepare ourselves for whatever we are to do next.
We have a plan for that now?
Well, we have a meeting at 6 with the High Magistrate.
Oh, good to know.
They had more information that they wanted to tell us. They were going to look into a few things first, and then they were going to tell us at 6. Which is probably, by now, an hour.
Yeah, it's probably
Away.
turnaround time.
Mm-hmm.
You can
Oh.
eat some dinner and then head on over.
Sounds good.
So over dinner, while you are discussing how we got paid and how we have this meeting with the magistrate in an hour or so, I will explain what Lilac and I learned on our excursion about how Jaden was seen even after he was supposedly kidnapped.
You know, I think
And
my
even
initial
stayed
theory
at this inn.
is becoming less likely. How well did you actually know this? What was his last name?
Prazio?
Perazio person.
Since I was 7 years old?
Could he have had money troubles, perhaps?
He wasn't like a gambler.
Could he have had a run-in with a bad crew, maybe made some bad decisions and gotten under their thumbs?
I mean, he's a pretty intelligent person. He didn't normally make those kinds of decisions.
Did he have any interest in either magic or dragons?
I mean, he might
That's
have
a
been
good question.
interested in magic. I don't know about dragons.
The Cult of the Dragon, as from our research, seems to be a cult centered around wizards and sorcerers with some other, assorted elements, all seeking to study the idea of preserving draconic essence and energy and elevating them to perhaps not godhood, but something like unto it as the superior race. They're essentially Dracolichists.
Are you
It's
implying that Jaden wants to make a Draco-Lich?
He does seem to have been seen walking about of his own free will after his kidnapping. I suppose it's possible he's been mentally dominated.
Well, that's a lovely thought. I think we need more information, though, because it sounds like Jaden was not voluntarily into dragons or obsessed with dragons. Therefore, it's less likely that he's part of the cult, at least in that respect.
Mm-hmm.
There
But-
are many reasons for joining such a organization.
I
Not
haven't
just
figured out how
dragons.
their dental plan is yet.
Thanks. Probably pretty good.
That's
There's
true.
an awful
This
lot
is
of teeth.
important. Good hygiene.
Mm-hmm.
Necessary.
Benefits.
For some reason, though, it sounds like he was looking into illegal trade routes. I don't know why. It may have been for the purpose of finding an item. Maybe for the purpose of what's the last name? The Prazio?
Prazios?
The Prazio. I don't know. Maybe he was looking for a trade out for the Prazios. I don't know. Something that doesn't go through orc
It is
liberators.
Interesting that Jaden was looking for trade routes, while we are supposed to be looking for how the cult was moving things along trade routes.
Oh, yeah. That was part of our thing, wasn't it?
Seems coincidence.
I think it's more than just coincidence at this point. I think it's linked together.
Well, do we want to go talk to the High Magistrate?
Yes, let's go talk to them.
Off we go.
You guys head over. Sanjay.
Time passes.
Sanjay greets you and leads you back into the meeting room. And the High Magistrate is already in there. They look up and say, "Oh, welcome. Welcome back. We have learned some new information. We got it confirmed. Come in, and please shut the door behind you. Sanjay, you can stay in here for this."
We enter.
Yep. And
Mhm.
so Sanjay lets you guys in. He shuts the door and he stands at attention in all his Goliath glory.
You're doing a great job, Sanjay.
Thank you. He gives you a thumbs up
I give
And
one
then-
back.
and then quickly puts it back.
Like subtle, like just like.
We talked more to Sir Collart, and the information that you gave us did confirm what he told us in the jail. We did do some magical manipulation to see if maybe his mind had been changed at all, but he gave the information of his own free will. He was not magically manipulated at all. He said that the reason why Green Nest was hit harder, they suspected that a missing item, this blue mask, was probably in Green Nest. And after looking through all the cities that were hit, it appears to be that a lot of these cultists were skirting customs of Burdas, Gornabel, Elturel by using these small towns. So it seems that these cultists had been using these trades for quite a while, about 50 years or so, and they have been trading information, they have been trading goods and items, and it appears that Green Nest was the major city that this trade started in, which would make sense if they were trading information and goods from because that is the first city in the Sword Coast that you hit from We need to know, and I hate to put this burden on you. I know we asked you to find the information about how they're moving them, but since we now know the locations, would it be possible for you guys to be basically a small search team to try and figure out where the new base is?
New base for, like,
The cultists?
that used to be in Green Nest, or the cultist base?
The cultist base.
Okay.
So Green Nest seemed to be
The one which they are launching wyvern attacks from?
where they had gone after the attacks on these cities.
Where the eggs are, maybe.
Well, we know that there are eggs there, which is a connection to Lenathan.
Oh, no, they were looking for the eggs. Never mind. Different thing.
Were they looking for the eggs?
No, there was a rumor that there was an egg hatchery there, that there was dragon eggs there, but that's all you guys found out.
Never
But we
mind.
know they headed south after they fled the sanctuary.
So just to clarify, Green Nest was the biggest city that they had to use as a transport city before they used the smaller towns to skirt by the bigger cities.
Mm-hmm.
What the High Magistrate is asking is for you guys to basically find where the base is, where everybody went after the attacks. They took a lot of items. We need to know how they're going to move it and where they are hoarding it. It's from the reports that we're gathering, we're talking a lot of items, big, small, gold, platinum, lots of things. And moving that would take many, many caravans.
Are you keeping a watch on the house of Lord Faradin? He had at least a large teleportation array, which
is broken now.
Is it broken?
Yeah, there was
There was
like
a
a
missing
5-inch
piece.
piece missing.
Okay.
We need Greg to look at that.
But it would
Greg needs to
imply
spend
that
all his time on that.
the cult may not be moving things in caravans if it can afford to move them through other means, such as this array that they had set up. We do know about the wyvern attacks in the Orcish territories, which I believe is near where you, Lilac, come from, right?
This is where I traveled through. Come from further, the mountains.
That brings up a good point. We had some scouts go out to try to find this orc tribe, and we did. And we asked them for help, because we do know from what you guys have told us, what they told you was that they were kicked out of their homes. However, where in their homes, because they seem to roam around a lot in those mountainous areas, we need to find out where that base is. Would you be willing to maybe work with the orcs or to try and figure this out? The orcs seem to have been willing. They are currently stationed about a half a day's travel outside of Burdas. We've given them provisions, and we are currently working on some sort of trade agreement if they help.
So I guess the assumption is going to be that there's a base somewhere between the wyvern attack and the green nest attack. And that somewhere in between the two, there's a base.
Right.
Yes, we will do this thing,
Yeah. Because that's theoretically where Jaden's being held.
Lilith says without consulting anyone.
Theoretically.
Well, and I was pondering whether or not our two compatriots here had something to say about this. Do you think the orcs would be amenable to a second visit from you?
Yes.
Yes,
They were
Excellent.
very nice.
they were. Yep,
They taught me about my echo,
that is true.
which I still haven't
I know, I was
told
like,
you
wait a
about in
second, have you
person
told
yet.
us about that? I think tonight would be a
Your
great
spirit.
time.
I have seen this.
Yep, I can explain that more later.
In fact, one of their members asked part of our deal if they would help to help them get back to their ship. I believe her name was Ula Lark.
Yeah, she was a fun one.
Yep.
She was very fun from what I hear. Very knowledgeable about the sea.
Very, yes. And trade
Yep.
routes.
That reminds me, I need to send another letter to Master Prazio.
Another person that knows more about trade routes.
Dun, dun, dun.
That's our buzzword, trade route.
It is.
Ulalarg was very familiar with sea trade routes.
Dear Master Prazio, do not send anything by sea.
Please stop this now.
Please avoid a ship. I don't know the name of the ship, but
Just any ships.
any pirates, especially by an orc named Ulalarg.
Maybe you can broker a trade with them.
Maybe.
If they
Stop
have-
stealing from us.
Exactly. You gotta start small. You start with one business, and then you start expanding a bit more.
So they were willing to lead some of our guards out there to try and find this. But if you guys would do this, that gives us a little bit more protection inside the city. And you guys have proven very capable in finding out information.
I like this plan.
And you do know that they are very scrapped for guards because they keep sending them out.
Oh yeah, because there's a lot of
Mhm.
towns that need help right now.
Also, we did deploy the 100 troops to Green Nest today, and about 40 clerics from multiple churches have decided to help them out as well. So Green Nest is in good hands.
That's a lot of people.
Hmm.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Practically half the population of Greenest. Before the attack.
I think that's a little under-exaggerated, but okay.
Okay, so we have
I'm
information.
sure it'll be distributed around the surrounding towns.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not just Green Nest.
It's not just Green Nest,
staging
there's
point.
tiny towns around it.
Maybe we can ask the High Magistrate to, as if we're going out and doing this, then they need to continue talking with Sir Collart and Lord Terracus as soon as he wakes up and get more information regarding the cult. Why on earth were they attacked? Because why was Terracus, if he knows why he was attacked, and if he has any more information about that, and Collart, if he knows anything about the
So
teleportation circle.
Yeah, so in the report that you guys had, Sir Collart was the one who tried to attack Terracus.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
My bad. I forgot about that. Okay, yes.
yeah,
But we already know about him, but maybe Terracus can provide more information about the cult, who knows.
yeah.
But Collart, does he know anything about the teleportation circle in Feriden's house? Probably not, since it sounds like he didn't know where to look. But that'd be a good question to ask.
The orcs have settled for now. They're going to need a couple days to recover. They ran into some strange beetle or strange bee that was causing some neurotoxin issues. So they need a couple days to recover. But they will be if you are willing, you guys are more than welcome to stay with them. But it will take a couple days. So you guys will have a couple days to prepare. And if there's anything you need, please let us know and we will try to accommodate as best as possible.
There were several eyebrow raises at the
B.
bees, the stings,
Uh-huh.
things like that.
Mhm.
That we have know people who have had troubles with this.
This is from what I've seen of this toxin, this is a very potent toxin that I'm not normally familiar with bees having.
Hmm.
Yeah, they didn't know what it was, and we don't know either.
I'm making a note that I'm going to talk to Batul about that next time I meet with her, because she seems to know how to counteract it. I'm curious what she knows about it.
the blowgun bees of the Orcish foothills.
Yep. Terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
Extra deadly.
Especially to someone who doesn't have an orc constitution.
Do you have any questions for me?
Do you know where we can find a couple more horses?
Yes.
Yes, there's many horse traders here. I will give you the name of one of the reputable ones.
Since we are working on behalf of the city, it would behoove us to move with some speed when we are capable of moving. Is this something the city can provide us, perhaps giving us a recommend or note to give us the horses we need?
Yes, I will do this.
Thank you.
Why pay for stuff when we can get the city to pay for it for us?
If the city
As
wants
long
us
as
to
we
do
get
it,
to
the
keep
ci-
the
city-
horses.
I mean, you know, the horse may just die en route
It's
after
true.
being hit by a bee, but, you
It's
know.
true.
Now I'm envisioning these giant bees that are flying around the countryside.
I think B is code for dragon.
Mm.
Oh no.
It's a bee dragon.
That's a
Dragon bee.
terrifying
I mean,
thought.
dragonflies are a thing.
Yep.
Dragon bees.
Dragon bees.
Dragon
Dragon
bees.
bees. And even bigger dragonfly.
You've heard of the dragons and you've heard of the dragon turtles. Now get ready for the dragon bees.
Yep.
Can't think of anything else that we need. Do you
No.
guys? Can you think of anything?
I mean, now that we have all this gold in our pockets, you might need to get a few supplies maybe, but
Let us
Yep.
spend it.
Yeah.
quickly before the night ends. I mean, thank you for your generosity. I
They
magistrate.
smile. They smile knowingly. Shopping is one of my favorite pastimes as well. Now, if you have nothing else, we will meet. How about we say we meet and they open up their schedule again?
Is there anything we do need to meet about, or
Yeah, why do we need
what are we
to meet
meeting
again?
for?
Just, well, you don't have to meet them. So how about this? If you guys need anything else, please give the information to Sanjay and I will get to it as soon as possible.
we can do that?
All right, now be off with you. Have fun with your shopping episode.
Be yourself.
Be yourself.
So it is about 6 o'clock at this time. You guys have, I'll say it's like a Friday, so everything's open kind of late. So you've got until about 9 p.m. if you guys want to go shopping. Is there anything that you guys want to do? Let's start with Celestine. Is
Keep
there
this
anything you want to
concise.
get?
Okay.
Mhm.
So the things I had on my list were, I know the magic shop had a couple of things. I saw a mithril chainmail was on the list.
Mhm.
If we're going to be doing investigating, then not having disadvantage on stealth might be helpful.
Not clinking and squeaking.
Exactly. Oh, a little less clinking and squeaking.
Okay.
So I am planning on getting that as well as components for augury and 2 more habits.
So augury is 25 gold pieces of special stuff.
Correct.
Okay.
It's like bones and stuff.
And the mithril chain.
It was 300. Is there a way I can bargain that down?
There might be.
Roll your mercantilism plus charisma.
It is intimidation in that somewhere.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
No.
boy.
Well, okay.
Give me a better price
do
now.
you want someone who can like barter?
I can tell you how intimidation would work.
So
I
you guys
would-
walk into a shop.
Do
I
you
will
want to
only-
bring someone who can help you barter?
Yeah.
I assume you guys all want to go to the magic shop, right? At some point to grab something.
I mean, we can go, but
Some of us
it's
don't-
not going to get
don't have
anything.
Yeah.
Some of us don't have a reason to be there.
Izzy is helping me. Izzy
Were you
has
all going to get health
kindly helped-
potions?
I'm just going to give my gold to
Okay.
Yeah, we'll
Allison
probably do
for
that. Is that Lilic and Usarker will
Usarker's
stay at
going
the
to do
end.
his daily visit to
Okay.
the smithy that he's been doing since he's been here.
Okay.
I am requesting 3 health potions with giving the gold accordingly. for
Okay.
150.
We'll get that for you.
So Izzy and Celestine, you walk into the shop and you see a minotaur standing there.
Cool. Very cool.
How may I help you today?
Hi.
Hello.
We give him our shopping list.
We are looking for these items: 3 health potions and chainmail made of mithril, right?
Yep. And augury
And
components.
augury components.
Oh, I have all of them but the augury components. You'll probably have to go to an actual spell component store for this. We do not have that. However, please browse around while I go grab these items. If there's anything else you want, just let me know. And
Thank you.
And the Minotaur walks into the back, and you guys see that there's a bunch of stuff on the shelves. Like, everything that the store has is on shelves, but they're like, one of you goes to touch it, and it just kind of fizzles out.
So they're all illusionary.
They're all illusionary with, like, the names and the prices and stuff.
That way
And-
people can't steal them.
Yeah, and so, like, a couple seconds later, it goes, pfft, and it pops back up.
Izzy is very much drawn to anything that is artistic in nature, because while she is a jewelry craftsman, she does appreciate the fine art of, like, chiseling statues or woodwork or other things. And so she's very much drawn to those just for their artistic nature, and she's just appreciating the hard work that went into creating them.
Yeah, and there's a lot. There's a lot in there. After a few moments, the Minotaur comes back and says, "Here you go, ladies. Is there anything else I can help you with?"
You have some beautiful artistry in here. Do you do this work yourself, or do you just sell it?
My family does.
Oh, they do a fantastic
that's
job.
cool.
I was looking at this beautiful stone figurine of this cat with the... Are those jade in its
They
eyes?
are. You've got a good eye.
Thank you.
And when he said his family, he points up and there's like a family photo, but it's like a Minotaur and an elf and then like a sea elf. And there's like a whole bunch of people in this photo, and none of them are the same race and none of them look like each other. And in the middle, there's a woman with long black hair, and she's just smiling ear from ear, and she's got her arms around all of them.
So found family.
Aw,
Yeah.
That's sweet.
Yes, please pass on to your family that they have excellent craftsmanship. I am very, very impressed.
I will happily do so.
So,
Not
what
that
is
price.
our total for these items that we're getting?
The total is $450. I'm open for negotiation, though.
This is a very happy Minotaur.
We are actually in service for the High Magistrate.
Uh-huh.
I'm not sure if you've heard of the troubles that have been happening outside the city.
No.
Oh,
Well, that's a
Um,
problem.
apparently there have been attacks by some unsavory people.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, it's not good business, but I hope it won't affect your business because you do have some fantastic items here in your store. But we're trying to conserve our funds, so if there's any way you could knock off 50 gold so that we can use these items to help us investigate and help the High Magistrate, and in turn would help protect the city of Burdusk and its surrounding towns.
Make a persuasion check with advantage.
Yes!
See
Because
if you
you-
can motivate her.
You're punny.
Okay, +4 persuasion.
You mentioned their family and how wonderful the arts was, so you get advantage.
That's what I was going for. That's why I was role playing it. All right, that is a 22.
Woo.
How about this? Tell me a poem that you write here on the spot about cats. And then I'll give you 50 gold off, if I like it.
Okay.
Performance check?
Yeah.
Cats are amazing with their fur multicolored. Their noses are small.
Haikus, I love them.
Uh,
Yeah, that was beautiful. I love kitty cats. So here you go. You get 50 gold off.
Yay.
So 400
Okay.
gold. Basically
Okay.
got a potion for free.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Or you could think of it as your armor is 250 and the potions were at full price.
Yeah, we can figure out how to split it. But
Yeah.
yes.
So you also go to the store for the augury stuff.
Okay.
And it costs 25 gold pieces unless you want to try and haggle that.
We want to. I'm fine with.
So we're helping to save the city.
All right, go ahead and just make a quick persuasion check for them.
I have a thing that I need to add to there too. One of the spells that I have prepared and I was hoping to use is Summon Beast,
Mhm.
which requires a feather, tuft of fur, and a fishtail inside a gilded acorn worth at least 200 gold pieces.
That would be in a component store.
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
we're
I
looking
need
for
to
that.
chip in my 160 and beg 40 off of one of y'all to.
We
to-
just got 50 back from the other one,
Yeah.
so we can
Okay.
credit it
And
towards
this is
this.
200 gold for what?
Yeah, it's random.
Wow.
So it's a feather, tuft of fur, and fishtail, all inside a gilden acorn, worth at least 200 gold pieces.
What spell
You have
is
to
this?
appease the spirits. They know how much the gilded acorn is worth.
What spell is this?
Summon beast.
Ooh.
Oh, it's one of the newer spells.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What was your persuasion, Izzy?
18.
You get 4 gold off.
Okay, 21. I was hoping for 20.
21. So, Izzy, was there anything you wanted to do on this trek?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Lilac, what were you doing?
Tailing along.
To get that component.
Yeah, I probably followed along for that because I needed to get the component.
Okay. So, with that,
It was just being quiet in the background.
okay. So with that and Izzy's persuasion roll, how much was it?
It's 200 is what I needed.
So you'll get it for 190.
I lied. I do need to pick up more jewelry component things.
Okay.
Not components, but like supplies to make
Okay.
more jewelry.
Isn't that always how it is when you're shopping?
Yeah.
Realize that you just need
Yeah,
to buy
I was like, oh,
more.
wait.
And like, oh yeah, I forgot about this. And
I
that.
used it up all the night before. I need to get
One
more.
more thing.
One more thing.
So Izzy, you go to the same jewelry shop.
I'm sorry. I probably wiped you out yesterday, but I need more.
No, it's fine. We've got plenty.
Oh, good. Give me everything that you can worth 25 gold.
And they do.
How many uses would you say that equates to? Because what I've been doing it as like my large expensive jewelry for sale price would be about 10 gold. Small expensive jewelry would be 5 gold. Large inexpensive is about 1 silver. And then small jewelry inexpensive would be 5 copper.
So are you looking for like a jewelry kit? Is that what you're looking for?
Basically. But
So-
I'm trying to figure out like how many uses will I get out of it.
So I will say if you want to use it for your large pieces, you'll be able to get 4 uses out of it.
4, okay.
No, we'll go with 5. We'll make it easy. 5.
Okay.
5 uses. And then anything below that will be a multiple of 1.5.
Okay.
How's that sound?
I do plan on using all of these to make expensive jewelry stuff because I have basically none of that right now.
Okay. You get all that for your 25 gold.
Cool.
And anything else, Izzy?
That's it.
Okay. Usurker,
Yes.
what are you doing? Where are you going? What you buying?
As I said, Usarker does his normal thing and goes and visits the smithies.
Okay. So the smithy has your plate ready.
Okay.
And he puts it on you. He checks the measurements. He goes, oh, hold on. And he replaces one of the buckles because it just wasn't quite right. Puts it on. He goes,
You put
there
on
you
some
go.
weight
And he
overnight.
slaps you on the back.
Excellent.
And this was on the city. So there you go.
Excellent. As we continue to work and continue to get new equipment, this is something else that I need to look at, and I'm going to dump out some of the armor and equipment from the full plate sets. These are battered and damaged up. Looked like they were old training equipment, but full plate training equipment is high quality equipment nonetheless, so we need to start work on getting this into one serviceable suit.
Okay. He looks at it and he checks it out and he goes, this is very fine quality.
Yes, I thought so myself. That's why I thought it deserved better than to be left lying on a corpse.
Where did you get it?
Off a corpse.
In the service of the High Magistrate.
Works for me. I
Yep,
won't
there
ask
you
any
go.
more questions.
You don't want to ask any more questions.
Did you, Usarker, want to help him to help move that along?
Though Lord Usarker will do this, but it will depend on how much time is necessary to do so, because his first priority is to the library books and figuring out the information there.
So if you say this is a rush order, he can get it done in 3 days. If you help we'll say about 4 hours each day, they could bump it down to 2 and it will be ready before you go.
Usarker would need something so that he doesn't just exhaust himself in the library. And so 4 hours a day,
We've seen Celestine work.
Maybe he
Celestine
goes
is
out and
dependable.
does like training, sparring, or something like that to keep up.
well, I'm just saying, I'm just trying to decide whether or not I can commit 4 hours of my, whatever hour work day to it.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that.
Okay. So if you work a total of 8 hours over those 2 days, it will be done by the end of the night, and then it will be ready before you guys decide to depart, if you decide to depart at that time.
Especially
Excellent.
now that we found out that Lilith can read Draconic.
Yes.
So I think we've got a plan. It sounds like next session we're planning on doing more research in the library, getting armor, getting horses, and then sounds like we're heading out to
Beginning the
orcs.
hunt.
Yep, beginning the hunt with the orcs.
Yep. Now, before we end the session, there's something that we are going to introduce. Something new.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. We're going to introduce DM Inspiration. However, Corrin doesn't really like that the players can only have one DM Inspiration at once, and that it's just an advantage thing, so we're going to change it up a little bit. And we're going to call it a Token of Power, or a Power Token. We'll probably use those interchangeably. And what these are, just a little token or something that the players get for great role-playing, being creative during combat, doing something cool. Basically, they're at the whim of what I think is awesome. And these will be passed out, and so instead of them giving them advantage on a roll, they will be able to use these tokens to add a +5 to any of the rolls that they want. So, to start out, all of you start with a token of power.
Cool.
And this can be used for anything: saving throws, attack rolls, ability checks, anything that requires a roll on your end. And whether you declare what the number is or not, you can add the power token at any point.
Nice.
And
Sweet.
that is where we'll end our session. Goodbye, everyone.
Yay.
Woo.
Goodbye.
Hey, everyone, this is Corrin. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Power Word Crit. Stay tuned for more adventure on powerwordcrit.com or your favorite podcast streaming site. As we end this episode, please enjoy this PS.
Mama, I can count to 10. 1, 3.
10!
Oh, no.
No fair, you stole it from me.
Oh, Caitlin, Annalise, come here. I have a simple rhyme. Ready? So, just imagine Mommy when she's over out and having war, and this is how it goes. 1 little, 2 little, 3 little soldiers, 4 little, 5 little, 6 little soldiers, 7 little, 8 little, 9 little soldiers, 10 little soldiers helping Mom.
1 little, 2 little, 3 little soldiers. 4 little, 5 little, 6 little soldiers. 7 little, 8 little, 9 little soldiers.
10!
Little soldiers helping Mom.
Oh, good job. Aren't you Mom's little soldiers?